Hello, it's currently May 14th. The London Knights have just won the OHL Championship again, and they're headed off to Memorial Cup. I guess that'll start next Friday. So I've just finished a 10-year evaluation of playoff performances of all the OHL teams, and that's coming up next. So in the last 10 years, this is the 10-year evaluation of playoff wins. At the top of the list is the very, very dominant London Knights with 85 wins. Incredible performance, really, because they won 23 games, playoff wins over the second place team. So quite incredible. Even in the 10th spot, where you see Mississauga, they with 38, that is more than double the number of playoff wins. So overwhelming playoff win performance for the London Knights. After that comes everybody else, of course, and the best in the East by far is the Barrie Colts, followed by Niagara with 55, and then another Western Conference team, the Kitchener Rangers at 54, and the Battalion, whether it be Brampton or North Bay, in the 5th spot with 50 games. Another good performance from the East is Oshawa Generals with 49 wins, followed very closely by the former Belleville Bulls with 48 playoff wins. So really a pretty good performance, followed by the Plymouth Whalers franchise, quite successful, while they were in Plymouth with 47 wins, and the Windsor Spitfires with their 2 years of or 3 years of dynasty, but over the last 10 years, 43 wins, pretty good. My team, the Mississauga Majors Steelheads, just barely made the top 10, despite almost winning the OHL Championship there a few years back. Now we'll look at the bottom half for playoff wins. Interesting with Sault Ste. Marie with 38 at top. Been very good in the last few years. And the Erie Otters, outstanding in the last few years. But even with their outstanding performance, they had some mediocre times there in the first 5 years of this 10-year frame. So, also the Guelph Storm, who had their championship year there just a year ago. There they are with 31. Owen Sound, Sudbury. Strangely enough, Sudbury is not too bad. What is of interest is that we regard the Ottawa 67s as being a very successful franchise, but when you look at the last 10 years, not so much. And of course, the ones behind that, in the last 4 spots, Saginaw, Kingston, Sarnia, and Peterborough, all with pretty unimpressive playoff performances over the last 10 years. Now let's look at something totally different. The number of OHL championships, of course, the dominant force, the London Knights, at the top with 3 OHL championships, followed by Windsor, who had those 2 in a row. Very good team there some years back. But 5 other teams with 1 victory or 1 OHL championship: Kitchener, Oshawa, Plymouth, Guelph, and the Owen Sound Attack. So some parity there, except that in the last 10 years, the Eastern Conference has only won the OHL championship once, and that was last year with the very, very good Oshawa Generals, who also went on to win the Memorial Cup. They were an outstanding team, but the East has been pale by comparison in the last 10 years, and pale by comparison quite dominantly when it comes to the OHL Championship Series. However, regular season sees good competitive games between the East and the West, but clearly the West has been better, and it's not just because of the London Knights. There are some really good teams down there. So let's look at the Eastern Conference in itself, being as the West seems to dominate the championship series. This is a look at the Eastern Conference champions over the last 10 years, and the strongest teams, clearly the Barrie Colts, the Niagara Ice Dogs, and the Brampton Battalion. 4 other teams share one conference championship in that time. And again, the very weakest of the Eastern Conference teams is Peterborough and Kingston, which is no surprise, but again, Ottawa considered to be a very successful franchise, especially with Brian Kilrea involved. But when you look at the last 10 years, nothing much to show. So that's a look at the OHL performance over the last 10 years. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks now.